Hi, in this video we will discuss on what a friend function is in C++. We are going to cover three segments. The segment 1 states what a friend function is, its usage. In segment 2 we will discuss what the properties of a friend function. In segment 3 we will work on a sample program illustrating the logic of friend function. Okay, a friend function. Technically, it is a non-member function. So before getting into what a friend function is, let us have a recall on what a non-member function is. We classify functions into two based on their membership. One is a member functions and the other one is a non-member function. Member functions are nothing but those functions which are a member of a class. So member functions are members of a class. And non-member functions, they are not going to be a member of any class. They act as a user-defined function, a simple user-defined function which we have learned in C. So a non-member function are not members of any class. Here a friend function is a non-member function. So a friend function are not a member of any class. The special nature of a friend function is they gain access to access the private data members of a class. In this juncture, we must make a recall on what a private data member is. Data members of a class can be declared under private scope or a public scope or protected scope. Those data members which are declared under a public scope, they are accessible anywhere in the program. But whereas the private data members, they are visible, they are accessible only within the scope of the class. Not even the instance of the class can access these private data members directly. These objects of that particular class can access these private data members only via a public member function. In such a way, the private data members are highly secured inside a class. Not even the object of the same class can access the private members. But in this scenario, there exists a logic, a technique to make a non-member function to access the private members of a class. So C++ makes this privilege with the keyword friend. The keyword friend. See, we are going to make the keyword friend to declare a non-member function as a friend of a class. If a non-member function is declared as a friend of a class, then that friend function can access the private members of a class. So where to declare or how to declare a non-member function as a friend? It has to be declared inside the scope of the class. The declaration of a non-member function as a friend has to be done inside the class with the keyword friend. The keyword friend. And a non-member function, it could be a friend of any number of classes. There is no restrictions for a non-member function to be a friend of a class. It could be a friend of any number of classes. And how a friend function access the private data members. No other way. The friend function needs the instance of the class. So only with the instance of the class, a friend function can access these private data members. But to invoke that non-member function, we don't need any objects because objects are related only with the classes. So only the member functions can be has to be accessed within the accessed with the help of the objects. Non-member functions don't need any objects because they are not part of any class. But friend function needs the instance of a class to access those private data members. But experts says friend function should be rarely used because it violates the logic of encapsulation and data hiding. It breaks the security which is imposed on that private data members. We will discuss on the sample code which implements the logic of friend function. In this code, I have defined a class, my class. The class contains a private data member ivar of integer type. The class also contains a public constructor which accepts an argument, and that argument is assigned to the private data member. And have a look on the highlighted statement here, friend void show my class. So this statement makes the compiler to know that the non-member function show is a friend of the class my class. In the previous slides we saw that a non-member function has to be declared as a friend inside the class. So this statement makes that. The statement friend void show of my class declares the non-member function show as a friend of class. And here we have the definition part of the non-member function. The non-member function show returns nothing but accepts an instance of type my class, object of type my class. And the show function, it displays the member value of the private member ivar of the class my class. The expression m dot ivar, it accesses the private member of the class my class. In the main function, we instantiate the class my class by passing 100 as an argument value, so that 100 gets assigned to ivar. And the normal function call statement show of object, we pass the object, the instance of my class as an argument. So the non-member function show will be invoked. The non-member function show receives obj as an argument, and that gets copied into the argument m. Now m dot ivar will access the private member of the class my class. So the m dot ivar is legal only inside the friend function show. The output for the above code, it just displays the value of ivar, integer value equals. And these are the references which provides a clarity logics description for the topic friend function. And thank you.